Hello and welcome to the BTSF for PokéSins Season 1, Episode 1, Pokemon I Choose You. I am Garion Reaver. Although this episode was made in June of 2023, this is likely the first one people watch as newcomers to the series. So hello! Let me briefly explain what PokéSins is, what a BTSF is, what's going on here, and who I am. I am Garen, also known as Garion Reaver, and this November will be the 10-year anniversary of PokéSins, which is a series originally parodying CinemaSins, and I made the first 15 episodes in the style of CinemaSins before the 16th and all subsequent ones were in my own compound scoring system, which uses Plusles and Minun, that's what the two Pokemon on the left and right of the screen are in the episode and on this BTSF, to count the positive and negative things. Plusle, the red one, counts the good things, positive things, Plusles, and the blue one counts negative things, Minun. I then combine their two numbers at the end, so I subtract the negative ones from the positive ones, and that produces the final score for the episode, that is then shown in a scoreboard at the end of the episode. As the series goes on, I add each episode to this scoreboard for that season, and it shows sort of how they rank up at the end. This video is a BTSF, a behind the scenes featurette, BTSF, where I give my real thoughts on the episode, anything interesting that happened during editing, any outtakes or cut content. I started doing BTSFs partway through the run of PokéSins. I can't remember exactly when, but I'll be doing BTSFs for the first 15 episodes that I'm remaking at the moment, and then there won't be any for quite a while, and then they'll start back up again. I should mention PokéSins is not intended as fully serious criticism. It is mostly about making jokes and sort of light-hearted comedic criticism rather than he obviously thinks this episode is terrible because I gave it a bad score. That's not the case. I love Pokemon. I've obviously been doing PokéSins for 10 years now, or very nearly, so this is something that I wouldn't do if I didn't like it, you know? As this is the first episode of Season 1, I will quickly address a couple of recurring jokes that I make throughout the series, which I've been making for a long time now. Sorry, it's sort of confused me that it's 10 years since the original. It doesn't feel like it. Anyway, one of the recurring jokes that appears in this one is "Don't be silly X, Y doesn't exist." In this case, it was "Don't be silly Oak, worms don't exist," and then later on, mice don't exist either. That is not me saying that worms and mice are fictional creatures in the real world. It's me saying that worms and mice do not exist as a concept in the Pokemon world. They do not have worms and mice, they have Pokemon that fulfill the same roles. You know, they don't have mice, they've got Rattata and Pikachu instead. Given that we do not see animals except in a few rare instances in the early seasons, tells me that they didn't quite know what to do with them in the same way as in Yu-Gi-Oh! They didn't know how much viewers wanted them to stick to the rules of the card game they were representing, so they basically ignored the rules in the early seasons. And then as it went on, they realised actually we should probably conform to the rules of this game that we're adapting. And likewise, in Pokemon, they conform more and more to the concept of there are no animals, there are just Pokemon. When they refer to Pokemon in Pokédex entries or in dialogue, I see it as not so much an error as it's giving context to the viewers and doesn't really work as a concept for the characters in that world. That's the point of it. So you don't need to try and convince me that, hey, Garen, actually, yeah, mice do exist, I've seen them. Don't worry, I'm not saying they don't exist in the real world. That's also why I can refer to them like I may refer to Meowth as a cat or Pikachu as a mouse or whatever. I can say that because they do exist in the real world. But if a character refers to them as that, then that is sort of breaking the law a bit. That's my concept of it anyway. I will also mention that I am not under the illusion that the anime world is the same as the game world. There are numerous towns and even like gyms and stuff that exist in the anime that are not in the games. That said, I do expect the two to be similar. So when they do stuff like, hey, let's just have a giant river between Pallet Town and Viridian City. There is an actual map of the Pokemon world, and there is no river there. There is definitely no river there large enough to be what's depicted, so that's why that gets a minus for that. Same with Pokemon appearing there that don't appear there in the games. If they appeared somewhere near there, I might give it the benefit of the doubt, but they don't. I think that's all for like recurring jokes that appear in this episode. I will go through more as they come up in the upcoming few episodes, but I'm looking forward to remaking these. But without any outtakes or cut content, that is it for this BTSF. Not the first one I made, but for many people, the first one that they will see. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this series as much as I do, and I will catch you later.